Since the beginning of time, science has given us some really cool stuff. All things from computers and mobile cell phones to Dr. Pepper, which tastes somewhat like fizzy cough syrup. It is fair to say that the endeavor of science has given us pretty much everything in the technological world. While some scientific findings amount to nothing more than what happens when you try to push mints into a bottle of cola, on the other end of the scale are scientific discoveries and theories that will quite literally blow your frigging mind. Here are 5 ridiculously awesome scientific theories that will bend your mind. 1. The many worlds theory. The many worlds theory does exactly what it says on the tin. The theory suggests a scenario where, out there somewhere, is an infinite number of parallel universes. The idea is that with every decision or choice that has ever been made results in another universe been created. It's kind of like flipping a coin over and over again, and each time the coin is flipped the universe splits in two. What is truly mind-blowing about the many worlds theory is that if it is anyway correct, then happening somewhere is every single possible scenario and outcome. That means that somewhere there is an infinite number of other versions of you. Some will be rich and some will be poor. Some will be hugely successful and happy and some will already be dead. So wherever you happen to be right this very second, it may come as a comfort to you to know that somewhere there is another you living out your very wildest dreams. Of course, that also means out there somewhere is another you living out your worst nightmares. 2. The infinite monkey theorem. Strangely, the infinite monkey theorem is a somewhat well-known idea, not that many people have heard of it. Most people will have heard the saying that goes something along the lines of, a monkey has more chance of writing Shakespeare. Well, this is exactly what the infinite monkey theorem is. The idea is that if you were to take an infinite amount of monkeys, each with his or her own typewriter, and leave them all in a room for an infinite amount of time, then sooner or later one of those monkeys will strike the typewriter keys in such an order that they reproduce the complete works of Shakespeare. Of course, this theory is based on the notion of infinite chance, but it is certain that if it was possible to put to the test, then monkeys really could, sooner or later, recreate the entire works of William Shakespeare. 3. Laser time travel. A professor way smarter than you, by the name of Professor Mallet from the University of Connecticut, has made the startling claim that time travel is indeed possible. Of course, simply claiming something is possible in no way makes someone clever. But Professor Mallet can actually prove his claim by simply spinning light in a circle. Well, okay, so the idea is a little more complicated than just spinning light in a circle, but this is the general basis for it. Imagine that you have a cup of coffee and a spoon. The coffee represents empty space and at the spoon the beam of light spinning in a circle. Once you start to use the spoon to stir the coffee, empty space, begins to twist. Now, imagine that you drop a cube of sugar into the coffee which is spinning around the cup, and you will see that the sugar cube begins to circle with the force of the spinning coffee. A light beam spinning and correctly focused could, in theory, act in the same way and create a gravitational force which is so great it is capable of distorting space and time in such a manner that would allow you, the sugar cube, to travel through time. Once the light beam is removed, then empty space would stop spinning and, in theory, you would find yourself in either a different place or time. 4. The ekpyrotic scenario. The idea behind the ekpyrotic scenario is a relatively simple one in which our own universe was created following a collision of two universes. This acts as an alternative explanation to the creation of our universe, to the commonly known Big Bang theory, in which our universe was created from nothing. Effectively, what happened according to this theory is that following the collision of the two universes was the plethora of the universe was reset, and from this point began to expand infinitely until one day it reset all over again. At this point it is theorized that everything we know and love would be wiped from existence in a paradox of mind-bending biblical proportions. For many scientists, the idea that a universe expands continuously until it collides with another sounds like nothing more than science fiction, but this is a very genuine theory that an ever-growing number of scientists are starting to believe could actually be fact and, in many cases, is thought to be a more plausible explanation to our universe's creation than the Big Bang. 5. The Copenhagen theory. The Danes really don't do things by half when it comes to theories that blow and bend your mind. The Copenhagen theory states that if you were to cut two slits in a sheet of card, each slit parallel with one another, and then project an electron at the card, then the electron would pass through both slits. Pretty mind-blowing, yes? Well, before your mind blows too much, take the time to consider this. The Copenhagen theory goes on to state that, for some unknown reason, not only would a single electron pass through both slits, it would actually pass through both slits at exactly the same time. This means that the single electron would actually be in two places at the same time. Okay, So some of you might be out there thinking that this is no big deal, but what is beautiful about this theorem is how it very casually breaks the very laws of physics without really giving you the slightest hint of the awesomeness of what is going on. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more awesome videos.